What is going on, guys? Isam here, and I'm back with another idea in another indicator. This looks pretty much like a unique indicator. It does not look like any indicator that you have ever seen before. And for one reason, because it has a lot of filters and it has a lot of actually strategies that are stacked on top of each other. And during this video, I'll be explaining how all these strategies came together. And then and only then you will understand what I'm talking about exactly and why this is probably one of the most realistic and best indicator that you will ever encounter in your life. I will start by a general representation, and then I will go deeper into the strategies that are used in this indicator. And I'll talk to you guys about everything that you need to know and how to use it and how to take advantage of this indicator. I will start by as I said, by general representation is as you can see here, I have this panel that you can move around. You can put it in any corner you want. I prefer this corner because all the time it's empty, and I keep this corner here for the buy and sell quick buttons. The panel has a history of all the past trades in terms of pips and profit in pips. And this will show you the total profit of pips that you have realized, depending on how much history that you choose to display. And you can change that on the settings. On the other hand, you can use these buttons here on the top to change either you want to choose to show only the history, which will not include the current trade, or all, which means that you are showing the history and also the current trade that you can see here. There's a trade running, and you can choose to include that, or you can choose only to show the current profit of the trade that is currently running, which is going to reflect here in the same way. You have the number of transactions, and if you click on history, it's going to give you the number of transactions that have already realized and that have finished. And if you click on current, and if you click on all, then it's going to add the current transaction, which going to be changed from 19 to 20, as you can see here. For now, I'll keep that on all. And down here, you have uh, two filters with a toggle off and on button. So this is the Bollinger Band, uh, and you can use the Bollinger Band as a filter, and I'll show you how to do that later, and I'll show you how it works in general. And I have another filter here, which is the RSI, which filters the overall overbought and oversold conditions, and I will also explain that to you how it works and how you can use this this filter as well. Uh, Keep in mind that when you click any of these, as you can see, the trades are disappearing. That's because it filters out a lot of trades and only keeps the trades that are aligned with the filter. And I'll explain to you, as I said, how the filter works later on. Here you have the TP1 and TP2 button, and this will filter, or this will give you the ability to customize your strategy. Depends on whether you are only using TP1 in a way that the strategy is going to be a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio, which means that you close your trades on a TP1 only. So if the price hits TP1, then you take you close the trade and you take the profit, or TP2, which means that you are going to wait for the TP2 to hit, and that means that you are at 1-to-2 risk to reward ratio. So this is something that a lot of people are not showing you. So I choose to actually show you and even give you a quick access to it in a way that you are going to be able to see the statistics of the TP1 and TP2 and the statistics of both of them and compare which one is going to be better. And I would love to mention something here before I go further is in which is this indicator is actually an open source, which means that you can have access to the settings and you can have access to everything and you can change all the inputs in a way that it's going to give you the ability to customize the strategy in your own way. So once you understand how it works, you can customize the strategy and you can look for other pairs and currencies and commodities, stocks, whatever that actually works best. And I encourage you guys to share with me your results and share with us all so that we can take advantage of it. As far as I'm concerned, I have tested the euro yen on the 30 minutes with certain settings and certain inputs that I'm gonna keep by default, and those settings works best on this time frame and on this pair. And as I said, this is an open source, so you can always do your tests. You can always do more tests on other currency pairs. And if you find something that is interesting, I would love to have a quick chat with you on MQL5. You can send me a message. I'll be happy to answer all your questions and discuss everything with you. Taken further on the general representation, we have the candle coloring. In the candle coloring, as you know, I have used this uh, or I use this one as a confirmation for my entries. And there are three colors in general: the green, which is it's like a signal for the upside, and the red, which is a signal of the price falling. And I have this purple, and the purple color is also very beneficial here in my all strategies. And this kind of coloring is very helpful in many ways. It actually helps confirm the trades and confirm exits, but at the same time, it also show momentum and strength of the trend in the price at the same time as well. I have also added a trailing stop line, which you can use for your trades. Let's say, for example, that you have entered this trade at this price here, and the price started to go up, and you get to TP1. So what you can do is you can take half of the position, which is going to be 154 pips, and then keep trailing your stop loss as the price goes up. And you can even go further than TP2 up until this level right here, and which coincide actually with the changing of the color. And I take this purple color as an exit sign because what it what the indicator or the candle coloring indicator tracks is the momentum and the strength of the price. And whenever I get a purple color, that means that the momentum is weakening, and there is a high possibility for the price um to reverse, which actually happened here. And then if I actually kept on moving with the or kept moving my stop loss level with the trailing stop, it's gonna close the trade at the same time here. Uh, with the trailing stop, there is a dots as well, and you can show the dots and actually remove the line. And these dots will give you like the exact level where or the exact price. As you can see here, it shows the price 162.007. So it can kind of give you the exact level where you can put your trailing stop and up until the price closes at this uh, candle here, the purple candle that I told you. So uh, that's uh, generally what you can see here, or explanation of what you can see here on the chart. But there are many, many things that are not shown here, which are part of the strategy. And this is why this indicator is so powerful, because it's packed with more than 10 indicators in one to just give you what you can see here on the screen. Um, so the strategy of this indicator is based on trend. As you can see, guys, I'm a pro trend, and I I am a trend following trader my entire life. That's why I uh I highly encourage everybody that I get I highly encourage all or everybody that trades to actually use the trend and always trade with the trend. And that's why most of them, my indicators are actually dedicated to trends. And this is one of the ultimate indicators that I have ever created, and that's why I called it AI Trend Pro Max, because it reflects a lot of things, and it reflects a lot of sophistication, and it reflects a lot of cutting edge technology in terms of filtering out the the bad trades and giving you guys the best trades as well. With that being said, you can use this indicator in many ways, in many strategies. Not only like as you add, for example, a filter, that's going to change the strategy and the reasoning behind the strategy. So every time you add something or you remove something, that is going to change the strategy. So just keep that in mind, and always do your tests, and always do like a back test before you settle on any strategy. Um, so the main indicator here is based on momentum and strength of the price, which is this one here, as you can see. And whenever the price started to show momentum in one direction, and the momentum is confirmed and the strength of the price is confirmed, you're going to get a signal, a buy or a sell signal. So that's a general representation of what you can actually see on the chart. And now I will start talking about the strategies that are packed and layered in this indicator. And I'll talk to you guys about everything that you need to know about the strategy. So the first main indicator that I'm using is the momentum and strength of the price indicator, which is going to give you a buy signal whenever the momentum and the strength of the price is clear to one directional. For example, here, the indicator using some sort of algorithm that actually detects the momentum and the strength of the price. For example, here, the indicator have detected that there is a higher momentum to the upside, so it gives you an entry here. And this is another the sell trade with higher momentum to this downside and higher strength of the price to the downside. So I'm not going to go into the technicalities of how the indicator is working. So all you need to know is that the price here, or that the indicator detects the momentum and the strength of the price to one or the other direction, and it will give you a buy or sell signal. Uh, on top of this, uh, on top of this indicator, you can use the Bollinger Band, and you can use the RSI. And on top of that, I have also included a filter to filter out the size of the entry candle, or the opening candle here that you can see. So if generally speaking, if the size of the candle is so huge, then it does not really make sense for you to enter, because the move is already the part of the big part of the move is already done. So why would you enter in that uh, specific trade? And that's why I've included also that kind of filter, which filters out the size of the entry, the candle that you will use to enter the trade, or the entry candle of the trade. And I also added another filter of the size of the stop loss in if the, for example, the size of the stop loss is really big, then it will filter out that trade, and it will not show you the trade, and will not send you any alerts to your phone or to the terminal as well. So this stop loss filter actually works both sides: minimum stop loss and maximum stop loss. So you don't want a very small stop loss, which is going to be very tight, and the price can move back and hit the stop loss quickly. And you don't want a huge stop loss, which is going to be like, for example, from here to the top of this one, in which is going to be taking so much time for because the size of the stop loss is the same size as the TP1, and hence the 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. And you don't want a huge stop loss, because a huge stop loss means also a huge TP1, which is going to take forever for the price to reach there. So with that being said, you don't want a small stop loss, and you don't want a too big stop loss. And that's why I have added a filter of a small stop loss, of a maximum stop loss and minimum stop loss. So you kind of know, for example, if you can also use the ETR, and you can attach the ETR and see, for example, the average true range in average size of the, or average movement of the price, and you can use that as uh, an indication for you to choose what is the minimum stop loss and the maximum stop loss size. I'll show you that in the inputs in a minute. So these all these filters are very useful in the long term, because once you get used to all these filters, and you get used to the indicator, and you combine the best settings depending on what kind of trade that you are using, and what kind of what kind of strategy that you are going to be using, and you find your pairs, you find your time frame, and you fine tune the settings in the inputs in the best way, then that's going to be the ultimate your ultimate strategy that you're going to be using all the time. And that's why I keep everything open source, so that you guys can experiment and test. So, uh, I'm gonna talk about the strategies and the filters in general. The first strategy is the raw indicator, momentum and strength of the price indicator, as you can see here. And whenever the momentum is changing or shifting to one side or the other, it's going to give you a buying still signal. I have already included the best settings as far as I have reached testing. So you can change the settings, as I said, and you can play with the settings in any way you want to find a better inputs. But for now, the default settings are the best that I have ever seen when I was that I have seen when I was testing. So this indicator is going to be giving you a buy and sell signal, as I said, whenever the price momentum changes or shifts to one side or another. And it's going to be a very high frequency trading strategy, which is going to give you a lot of entries. And you can start of like you can back test that. And what I mean by back testing is going back into history and finding trades as you can go. So if we start here, for example, let's start, for example, here. So I have a sell signal here, because the momentum has shifted. As you can see, the price was going up all the way. This is a green move to the upside. So the price has been bullish for a while, and then once the price changed, or the momentum in the strength of the price shifted, the indicator detected the sell signal here. And as you can see here, the price moved straight to the take profit number two, and the trade was closed here. The indicator will keep giving you entries as the momentum and the strength shifts here. The price have been going in a sideways, and all of a sudden I have this big candle here, green candle, and broke all these levels here and these highs, and that's why the indicator give you this buy signal. You reached TP1, and if you are using only TP1, then that is going to be a profitable strategy or profitable trade. But since I'm using here TP2, so I was almost next to the TP2, and the price reversed and hit the stop loss here. That's part of the game. The second trade here, another move, sideways move. The price show momentum to the downside, and quickly realized in a 1 hour a profit of plus 578 points. Moving forward, another buy entry here hit the TP2, and another sell signal here hit the TP2 as well, and another buy signal here, which was also profitable. And here I have two trades, which both of them, and this is what I'm talking about filters, because the price here will show you momentum to the upside or to the downside, depending on the like the kind of calculation that have been done at this specific level. But at the same time, as you know, guys, nothing is perfect, and that's why I have added many filters that will actually filter out these moves here. And the Bollinger Band is going to actually filter out these ranges, because you can see here, guys, that when the price is ranging, is going to stay inside of this range. And you can kind of customize the Bollinger Band in the settings to kind of narrow down this this gap between the upper and the lower band. And this will show you more trades in the future as well. So I have in this example, for example, I explain here that whenever the price is actually moving in a sideways, the bands are going to be close to each other, and you are not going to get any signals inside of here. So these signals are filtered out, both of them, and removed from the calculation. And that's why I'm using, so basically the use of the Bollinger Band is to remove the trades that the momentum and the strength indicator is going to show you when the price is ranging and going in a range. Uh, I have another sell signal here, which was almost hitting the TP1 and the tick profit 2, but the price reverses and hit the stop loss. This is another trade here, which hit the take profit 2 as well. And this is another sell signal here, which reached the TP2 at 672. And I've got another entry here at this level, which reached exactly at the TP2 and the reverse, giving me another sell signal here, which reached TP2, and another buy signal here, and another sell signal here. Unfortunately, that's almost reaching the TP2, but reverses to hit the stop loss, and another buy signal here, which hit the take profit 2, and another sell signal here, which, well, you kind of get the point here. That's how basically this entire indicator or the main indicator works. But when you use the Bollinger Band, keep in mind that a lot of trades are going to disappear, and you kind of play with the setting of the Bollinger Band, as I said, to narrow the gap between the upper and the lower bands, and that's going to show you more trades. And how it works is basically whenever the price, let's say, for example, if the range between the Bollinger Band is small, and it coincides with in the breakout in this candle here coincides with the breakout of the the upper Bollinger Band, that's going to give you a signal. So in other words, breaking out of the range is going to be an extra layer or an extra confirmation of the price, the momentum to the upside, and that is breaking out uh, of that range. And this is a good example here. Let me explain to you this for quick. So the price was moving in a range here, and as you can see, the price broke below this range. Most of these lows here, this low and this low and this low and this low, these are lows that have not been broken before. And all of a sudden, the price broke below that low and closed below the lower band of the Bollinger Band. And that's when I get the sell signal. So in other words, this is a good strategy to remove the trades that I was talking about inside of the range here, this one, and always show you the trades, the good trades when the price breaks below that range or above that range and start moving down. Now, this was not a lucky trade because you see the gap in between here, this very small gap. But most of the time, this is a very effective strategy, and it works to a higher extent in a very high percentage. That's because the price is going to be ranging, and when the price breaks that range, it keeps moving in a very high strength, in a very high momentum. Um, so that's another layer. added to that strategy, and then that is another strategy by itself that is used by a lot of traders in that use this strategy. And whenever the price breaks above, and the price is moving sideways and breaks above and close above the upper or the lower, in an example here, the upper band, Bollinger band, uh, uh, and then that's going to be an entry for the strategy to the upside. Now, I did not use this strategy as a standalone here because I'm using the price momentum in the strength of the price as the main strategy, and I added this as a confirmation or as a filter to as a confirmation for the current trade here, for example, in as a filter to filter out all the bad trades that I got in here. This is the use of the I hope that you understand that, and that's the use of the Bollinger Band in this indicator. Now, removing the Bollinger Band and adding the RSI, and this is an RSI, this is just an RSI line, and as you can see here, this level here, it says 70, that's the upper level of the RSI that you can change, and this is the lower level of the RSI, which is the 30. So I have 30 and 70 as default, and the use of the RSI in this strategy is that I don't want to enter a trade when the price is overbought or oversold. I don't want to enter a buy or a sell signal when the price is overbought. In an example here, and I'll give you an example. For example, I'm looking at this trade here, and I'm looking to buy. So I don't want to buy when the price is overbought. It makes more sense this way. You don't want to buy when the price is overbought, and you don't want to sell when the price is oversold. And it kind of explains itself. If the price is oversold, it's oversold. Why would you want to sell, for example? If the price is overbought, why would you want to buy? So this is already part of the strategy. So you don't have to, for example, look for the price, look for the RSI level and decide if it's overbought or oversold. No, once you activate the RSI, and I'll show you an example here. I'm looking for an example, and I'm sure there is an example somewhere. Anyway, so once you click on the RSI button, the strategy that I explained to you here is already activated, and you don't have to do any analysis. So you just have to activate the RSI, and then it's part of the strategy. Whenever the price is already over, let's say for example at this point here, when you wanna buy here, the this line or the blue line is already here on the 70 or above the 70. That means that the price is already overbought and you don't want to buy. So this trade is not going to show. I want to buy when the price is not overbought, at least not overbought. Typically low here in the middle in the 50 or below the 50, but not near the 70 or above the 70. Because when the price is already overbought, like here, for example, at this point here, it coincides with this level, 70. So the price here is already overbought, and that's why it reverses back, and it already reverses back down. So you don't want to buy here, you don't want to buy here, and you don't want to sell here as well. As you can see here, the price is oversold because it's below 70, so you don't want to sell here. At this point here, you want to look for buy because the price is already oversold. So that's another layer added as well on top of the layer that I talked about, the Bollinger Band. So you can kind of mix both of them at the same time. Added on top of these both filters, you can actually add the overbought and oversold conditions of you can add the overbought and oversold filter in the Bollinger Band to remove the so you remove the ranging price using the Bollinger Band. You can also remove the overbought and the oversold conditions, removing the RSI, and you can on top of that uh remove the signals. Well, the entry signal bar is too huge or too big. You can control that in the input settings and only show the trade when a signal bar is between certain levels. It's or it has a certain maximum or maximum size. For example, you can add in the settings if the signal bar is 100 pips, then there is no point in entering the trade because the signal bar is already big. And once the signal bar is closed, with that 100 pips, the price is going to drop because a lot of people are going to take profits and the price is going to like go down in this example, or in a sell signal, it's going to go up because 100 pips is so much profit that people are going to exit the trade. But if the signal bar is small, then it makes more sense logically that the price is going to go higher. So these are very easy technique. These are very easy concepts, but at the same time, they make a lot of difference when it comes to trading. That's why I decided to add and stack them on top of each other. Um, the other filter that I was talking about is the maximum and the minimum stop loss. Now, this stop loss is big from this entry, the buy signal, to the stop loss here. So you can kind of filter this size here and put a minimum and a maximum. A minimum is going to be a line around here, depending on how much pips that you choose. You can add pips or points to the minimum and the maximum, and you can kind of, kind of put the stop loss in a range or an interval of minimum and maximum stop loss, and that's going to be logically using your backtesting and using your logic and using your kind of strategy that you will develop and put the stop loss in between those things. Now, keep in mind that when you use these filters, like the size of the candle and the minimum and the maximum stop loss, and you go, for example, to the daily and the weekly, that's going to change and it will not show you any trades. That's because the minute you have decided that the size of the candle of the entry candle is, for example, 80 pips or 70 pips. If you go to the day, to 1 day or the weekly, 1 pip is going to be 200, 600 pips, and that's not going to show you any trades. So keep in mind that those filters are going to affect the higher and also the lower time frames. So that's generally the concept here is behind the strategy. Now let me explain to you how you can take advantage of this strategy as a whole. So if, let's say, for example, I'm using only the RSI filter and I'm using the size of the entry signal, and I'm using the filter of the max and the minimum stop loss in this strategy, and I'm going to be using the trailing stop here to trail my stop loss and my take profit. So I'm going to go and use this trade as an example here. So I entered at this level. I entered at this level right here, and that's good. That gave me a sell signal here. The that gave me a sell signal here using all these filters that I have been talking about. I've been talking about the uh momentum and strength of the price, which is this one here that comes with the candle coloring. So I had a red after purple, which means that there is a shift in momentum, and the strength of the price is calculated into the algorithm using some kind of complicated calculation, and that gives me this sell signal. All right. For the stop loss, I'm using the trailing stop as an auto stop loss. You can switch off the stop loss or the auto stop loss, and then you can put the stop loss at any level you want. But I highly recommend to keep the stop loss as auto, and it will give you the exact stop loss here. However, if you put the stop loss as a minimum stop loss or maximum stop loss, whenever the stop loss is higher than whatever value you have put as a maximum stop loss, it's gonna default to the maximum stop loss. Or if it's lower than the minimum stop loss, it's gonna default as or default to the value of the minimum stop loss. So that's one thing also to keep in mind here. So I got this sell signal using the momentum and the strength of the price, and which coincide actually with the RSI not being oversold, which is good for me. See this level? This is the difference between this is the value of the RSI here, and this is the value of the oversold. So this is good typically. So the price is not oversold. So I'm gonna still be taking this trade, right? So got into the trade here, put my stop loss at this level. The algorithm is checking the size of the entry signal or the entry candle. If the size of the entry candle is too big, it's not going to show you a sell trade here. So I'm explaining to you the strategy, but the algorithm is doing everything already. You don't need to do anything. All you gotta do is whenever you got a sell signal, you're gonna get an alert with these values here. You're gonna get the value of the entry, the value of the stop loss, the value of the TP1, and the value of the TP2. All you have to do is enter and set up your stop loss and take profit. But it's good to understand the strategy because you are going to have to use it on specific pairs like commodities, stocks, or cryptocurrency, and you want to be able to change the settings in the best way to fit that very specific currency or stock or indices or whatever in any time frame that you should choose to use. So the size of the entry candle fits into the conditions that I have used, and that's good for me, right? And I have a sell entry here. I have a sell entry here. I entered here. I set up my take profit at TP2. That's what I do. I recommend using TP2 most of the time, unless if you are one-to-one risk to reward ratio person at 50-50%, then you could use the TP1. But I always use the TP2. For my stop loss, for my take profits, I can use the trailing stop using the dots only. I can remove the line and use the dots. And wherever the price moves, I can move the stop loss. But I only do that when I reach the TP1 typically. So when I reach the TP1, I could close half of the trade and start trading my stop with these dots until the price, closes at some point here. But in many cases, what happens is that the price keeps on moving. And I think I moved this stop loss here. I need to correct that. I have an open trade here. I have an open trade here, and I'll talk about this one here in a minute. But back to what I was talking about. So I was talking about the trading stop and the use of the trading stop. I want to show you an example where the trading stop can actually come in handy when maximizing the profits and maximizing the entry of the profit here. So say for example, I'll talk about this example here. It could be a good example. So I reached TP1 and I closed half of the trade and I start trading my stop loss at this level here, trading my stop loss here and here and here and here and here until this level right here. And that's when the price is gonna hit the stop loss. So instead of closing at the TP2, I have added this much profit from this level here to this level. And that's the use of this trading stop. That could be actually also part of the strategy. So with that being said, I generally have mentioned everything that you need to know here about the strategy and how to use it and how to use all these indicators that are stacked on top of each other. You can access the settings and a left click and go to properties. And you can access the settings here, and the settings are self-explanatory. What I want you to focus on is that you can turn off these filters from here and you can turn off the filters as well. So if you access the inputs and the settings here, you can find all the filters that are used here in the settings of all of them to change them actually, when you change anything here, it's going to affect overall uh the overall conditioning of the indicator, which will change the result as well. That could be positive. The change can be positive or can be negative. So you can kind of know how to change, and you should keep that in mind as well. So you have the Bollinger Band, you have the RSI, and you have the additional filters here. You have the type of the take profit that you want, which you can change from here, and you can change as well here. You have the maximum stop loss that I was talking about, and the minimum stop loss. So the maximum stop loss values and minimum stop loss values are in points. So keep in mind that, as I said, when you change these numbers here, the minimum stop loss, if the number, for example, falls below the 200, which is 20 pips. So if it's 15 pips, the stop loss is going to be default 20 pips instead. So you have to keep in mind this one here. If you don't want this, you can turn it off here. And the same thing here, the 700 points or 70 pips is the maximum stop loss. And if the stop loss falls above this 700, for example, 80 pips or 800 pips, then the stop loss is going to be defaulting to 70 pips, back to 70 pips. The signal bar or the entry signal bar here size is going to be maximum 700. So if it's above 700, it's 800 or 80 pips, then the trade is not going to be shown and you're not going to get any alerts. So I have put this one in 70 pips because it depends to the ETR or the average true range or the average movement of the price. Some of them have a very high range, which means that you want to keep that in mind and be flexible about this value. If you don't want this one, you can turn it off from here. And keep in mind that anything that you turn off is going to change everything here and change the statistics because the trades are going to be changing. This is the settings for the alerts, and these are the settings for the colors and the setup of the whole indicator. Nothing special here in the bottom. The momentum and the strength of the price can change here. Momentum and the strength of the price, you can kind of play with these things in any way you want, so that you will find the best settings. I think this video is getting long, and we'll be talking, guys, about more, and I'll do more videos and show you a lot of results in everything in the future. But this is all you need to know about this indicator so far. I hope this indicator will help you and will actually change the way you look at the charts and change the way you look at trading. This is one unique and one of a kind indicator, and you really want to take advantage of this one, and you want to have it and add it into your tools, because you will never actually find an indicator similar to this, because um it has it has generally everything that you need to know and everything that you need to trade better, and it have actually create a better strategy and create strategies that actually works and in a very realistic way. With that being said, guys, see you in the next video. Thank you so much.